And now to some health stories this evening. Floodwaters could potentially submerge homes and farms, thereby causing the spread of diseases like malaria and cholera, especially during the rainy season. Experts, however, say this can be managed if communities, particularly those at risk, maintain sanitary environments, while authorities ensure effective disaster management. My colleague Eko Foriwadako has the rest of the story.
Glife is one of the communities along the coastal areas of the Greater Accra region that suffers seasonal flooding. Normal to heavy rains affect the over 21,000 people and 3,000 households in Glife. Due to a poor drainage system, unplanned development and inadequate flood infrastructure, residents of Glife are worried about the expected onset of rains. Surviving on the little income he makes weekly within the community, a taxi driver and resident of Glife, Kwame Kwating, recounts how he lost all his property last year during the rainy season.
The rain destroyed a lot of my properties. We had to lodge at my neighbor's room for 3 days. When it rained, we couldn't move.
He said his family, including his 3-year-old son's health, was at risk due to the improper disposal of waste into open gutters and flood waters.
Anytime it rains, the flood waters reach our knee level and it disturbs us a lot. The water enters our room carrying along waste materials.
Kwame Kwatin says he's yet to adopt a coping mechanism to protect his family and property should a flood disaster occur again. Some residents say flooding is becoming more frequent and the insanitary conditions in Glife are becoming life-threatening.
Because of the Ebola that they put in at the junction there. So our room, the water has been forcing to enter into our room. So every day our room gets flooded.
Because of
this community has a serious drainage challenge. The choke gutters are a major reason for the flooding issues we experience here.
This is one of the dumping sites within the Greater Accra region. This dumping site is right at the heart of Glife, a community around Downsuman. The major concerns of these people is the fact that when these plastic wastes are burned, they inhale toxic fumes. Also, the cases of malaria and cholera are becoming rampant. They are also burdened with flooding issues. When it rains heavily, the community suffers and women and children are mostly at risk.
Once you speak about the dumping site, it leads to conflict. No one is able to speak about it. There is also the outbreak of cholera, and for those of us who live here, our health is at stake.
Its secretary at the Glife Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, Fred Mills, said the dumping site could be a possible cause of the frequent flooding in the area, along with other health hazards that put people's lives at risk.
Before, when it rains, you see everything is smooth, but about 2 to 3 years now, if it rains smooth, you can't see the water flowing well. The gutter will choke and you see the robbers on the street, the water going into people's room, whereby and there. So I don't think whether it's the cause of the this boiler they have done here or not.
For water, sanitation and hygiene wash technical specialist at the World Vision Ghana, Yawatahin, although climate change is affecting livelihoods, sanitation should be prioritized in all forms.
Climate change is real. I mean, it has come to stay. In fact, it's difficult to even now predict when the rains are coming. And when the rains are coming, everybody is panicking because we haven't prepared enough. And when it comes to sanitation issues, that is where the major risk and threat are.
He mentioned that some unsanitary practices like improper disposal of waste and open defecation could expose people to preventable diseases like cholera.
We throw waste anyhow. We are unable to manage our solid waste. There is open defecation. Many people don't have access to toilet facilities. A UNICEF study has proved that just 1 gram of human feces, 1 gram is like a paper clip, can contain 10 million viruses, 1 million bacteria, several parasites, and disease-causing germs. You can be sure that there is a strong correlation between them and these preventable diseases like cholera, diarrhea, and the others, even malaria.
Coordinated and effective response to disasters can have a long-lasting impact on communities.
Now that the rains haven't come yet, first of all, let's put in place a mechanism which will enable us to quickly mobilize the solid waste around. Government should resource the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO. For this is a very important organization, and yet they have very little to work with. One of the areas we want government to reset is the sanitation subsector. I mean, if we reset every aspect of our lives and we don't do it for sanitation, we'll continue to suffer.
When rainfall is erratic or insufficient for a few consecutive rainy seasons, a worse food security situation often occurs. Annually, thousands of hectares of farmlands, along with a variety of crops and livestock, are destroyed by flooding. Yawatahe noted that ahead of the rainy season, preventive measures should be put in place to safeguard food security in the country.
When it comes to flooding, I mean, you are aware that farmers, it's difficult for them to go to their farms and attend to their crops. And once these crops continue to be subdued under flood water, then you can be sure that yield will decrease. And once the yield decreases, household income will reduce.
Multiple climate change dynamics can influence wash factors, including water, sanitation, and hygiene. Additionally, a WHO report indicates that in 2020, 98 million people globally experienced food insecurity compared to the 1981-2010 average. Additionally, the WHO consecutively projects 250,000 additional yearly deaths by the 2030s due to climate change impacts on diseases like malaria and coastal flooding. Ekia Oferiwa Dakon, TV3 News, Accra.